Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Ross and Wizzy's Fan Fiction Power Hour. I'm your host, Ross Pitt, Shark Hunter. And as always, with me here today is Wizzy Puff. Say hello, Wizzy.
It's me, the Muscles, Wizzy Puff.
I thought you weren't going to tell them your real name. Alrighty then. So that's the Muscles. Welcome back, guys. I'm sure you're all wondering, what's going on with Worm Watch? Where every week, for the past month now, I have been mentioning what's been going on with this story that I've been reading called Worm. Well, technically I'm in the sequel now, Ward, but, last time we had a bit of complications, because of a bit of a character assassination, if you will, where the author Wildbow didn't just take a character arc and drop the ball with it. He threw it down an elevator shaft, lit the shaft on fire, and then buried the shaft in cement. And yeah, despite it being a great story, have not actually read a lot past that previous episode. It's been rough, but I think, I do just need a break from it, Really gotta clear my head. It's so disappointing. And I know that character's not gonna get better. I've been spoiled on that.
Wonder what the best way to clear your head is.
Arsony.
Arsony?
Pillaging. Plundering. Murder.
Is arsony a mix of larceny and arson?
Theft. Like pirates do.
Arsony? Oh!
Lizzie.
I get it.
How could you not tell where I was going with that?
Well, because these aren't those type of pirates.
We'll see. So today, in this podcast, we are going to be reading Pirates for a Day by Dawn Fade. It looks very cute. It's got a little cute picture there. So fun fact about this one, I might have read it before, but I don't remember, but it looks so familiar to me. I know for a fact that I've read a fan fiction involving Pipsqueak and Dinky Doo, and them using their imaginations, and I thought that was a really cool fan fiction, but I haven't been able to find it for years and years and years. And so one day, Wizzy, this fucker over here, he just comes up to me and goes, "Hey, we should read this story." And I was like, wait a minute. And then I just spewed out the whole spiel that I just gave you guys. So, yeah, that's interesting. So, yeah, hopefully this is that story, and hopefully it's as good as I remember.
Turns out it's going to be really gritty version of Pirates. It's not going to be cute at all.
Well, we'll see when we get into Pirates for a Day by Dawn Fade. Chapter 1. Pipsqueak and Dinky in Pirates for a Day. Trees are strange things. Their lives, if left untouched, are long and peaceful. But if they are cut down, they can become an infinite amount of other things, from houses to paper. To make those things, the original peaceful tree must be destroyed. There was no escaping it. However, there was a secret only little ponies knew about, something the grown-ups had long forgotten. There was a way to make the beautiful trees into what you need without cutting them down and chopping them up. It was this magical secret that transformed the big oak tree into a ship and the surrounding forests into a raging ocean. Imagination. Imagination. Yeah, you know what? Speaking of that, I guess, uh, you know what this fic reminds me of? Just thinking about this fic.
Or about Pirate Island?
No, but that would have been the obvious conclusion to that. No, it reminds me of Hot Air Balloon by Owl City.
Yo. They weren't pirates in that song, though.
They weren't, but it was like, I think it's about like two kids with those wacky imaginations, yeah? Well, I guess don't know the number of kids, but that's how I always interpreted it.
Yeah.
Or maybe that racetrack was real.
I always thought that song was about two adults, honestly.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I would dig it. It's about us.
Yeah!
Alright, back to reading fan fiction about children's TV shows. Imagination. A tremor of impact shook his jaw as Pipsqueak swung his sword against the tree branch.
Take that!
That's perfect. Keep that.
You got it.
He yelled triumphantly. He yelled triumphantly around the handle as he saw the raider fall off the side of the ship. A scream drew his attention away from his opponent. He saw Dinky had leapt down onto a lower branch on the tree, and her mane had caught in a branch. Yeah, this just sounds dangerous. Yeah. You kids better, like, cool it.
They probably have, like, pony powers, right?
No.
Oh.
Reading this as an adult, it's a bit more yikesy, if you ask me. He also saw that she had leapt up onto that railing and was struggling to duel one of the masked ponies.
I'll save you!
He shouted as he jumped from his branch to assist her. Landing hard and barely maintaining his balance, Pipsqueak reached up and carefully untangled the few blonde hairs that clung to jagged imperfections in the bark. The masked pony tripped and dropped off the side into the waves below. His fair-haired companion grinned at him. "Thanks, Pip. I think that's the last of them." Pipsqueak nodded and laughed.
We sure showed them.
His voice was muffled, so he sheathed his sword.
But we better go up to the crow's nest and make sure there are no more coming.
With a determined nod, Dinky led the way, scrambling up the thick wooden monolith and using the many branches as hoofholds. Pipsqueak mimicked her every movement carefully. They were quite high up, but he was okay with that. It's why they chose the tree in the first place, because it was the biggest. Therefore, they had the biggest ship. Now, that's not always the best one to have. It's Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl shows.
Oh. But the biggest ship has the most people.
Sure. But it's not the fastest, is it?
Oh, that's a good point.
The two ponies scaled their mast quickly with practiced ease. They had served on their ship together for a lifetime, fighting other pirates and monsters. Being mighty pirates was a dangerous job, not for the faint of heart, which is why neither of them were scared when they reached the highest stable branch. Don't fall.
They said stable branch.
Yeah,
oh, wait.
well...
Is that like a horse pun?
No. Maybe. I don't care. Like, you know, what if one of these kids falls and breaks their head open? Like, Jesus, man. Yeah. I don't know what we're going to do with that. Like, do we tell your parents?
What? They have pony healing magic. They'd be fine, right?
No. Canonically,
not?
it doesn't work like that.
What?
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
How do you
We
treat, like,
just
head
don't see,
injuries?
like... They treat head injuries the way we treat head injuries.
Really? They have, like, scientific medicine?
Yeah?
Dang. I thought they just
They're
used
not
magic, honestly.
animals.
Well, they don't have, like, electricity powering their town, do they?
Yeah?
Oh.
I think we've gone over this, like, fairly recently, too.
Dang.
Start remembering things. You should just start taking down notes, man.
Well, no one ever talks about the electricity in Equestria.
You're not wrong.
I need an entire 30-minute episode about the equestrian power grid now.
Dinky edged out as far as she dared so Pipsqueak could clamber up the final part. He looked out the view, and for a moment all thoughts of pirates and ships were washed away. Wow, Dinky breathed, eyes wide as if to take as much of the view in as she could. The whitetail woods stretched away from them, curving over subtle hills and caves. Endless spring leaves made a multicolored patchwork of the land, purple, orange, red, green. It was like an ocean of color, gently rippling in the wind as a breeze would flow across the open sea. They could see forever. An unfamiliar feeling sunk into Pipsqueak as he stared at the incredible view. Sitting there beside his best friend as they watched the peaceful forest sway made him feel content. He couldn't think of anywhere he would rather be, or any pony he would rather be with. With that in mind, he smiled at Dinky and returned it. He smiled at Dinky and she returned it. They had met on Pipsqueak's very first day in Ponyville. He had been so nervous and scared of every pony back then. His mother sent him out to buy some sweets to ease his anxiety while she moved their belongings into their new home. And it was as he trotted quickly through town that the gray filly crossed his path. Is she that gray? I think she's maybe more purplish, pinkish.
I
One
just
second.
picture her being the same color as Derpy.
Well, she's not. Same hair color.
Nice. Definitely related.
Yeah, it's kind of a grayish purple, I guess.
Is it like Maud Pie?
Hold on. Let me compare the two.
I can't remember if Maud was actually...
No, Maud Pie is way more gray.
Okay. Remember
Her hair is
had more
purple, though.
colored. Yeah. Couldn't remember how gray her coat was.
He had been looking at the ground, and she had been looking away, so they collided in a puff of dust and shouts of surprise. The bits he was carrying spilt out across the road, shining golden flecks amongst dirt. I'm so sorry, squeaked the filly, looking at the mess. Pipsqueak forced himself to speak, swallowing his nervousness.
It's okay,
He said quietly as he began picking up his money. She rushed to help him, darting around the road. I should have looked where I was going. I walk into things a lot 'cause I daydream and stuff. My mom says I got it from her.
Yeah!
Ha.
Headcanon, baby.
Woo! She rambled amiably as she finished the task and passed him the bits. Pipsqueak tried to thank her, but the words caught in his throat. Hey! Dinky cocked her head curiously. I've never seen you before. Are you new in town? He nodded, words failing him. She had been the first pony to talk to him since they arrived that morning. Well, let me welcome you to Ponyville. Surprised that Pinky wasn't over that. She smiled and offered him a hoof, which he shook hesitantly. So, what kind of stuff do you like? Her friendly smile was contagious, and he couldn't keep himself from bearing a toothy grin. If all the ponies in this town were like that, he was beginning to like this place.
I like pirates,
He had declared. Dinky giggled at his enthusiasm. Me too. Hey, where are you going? I can help you find stuff.
I was looking for a sweets shop to buy some sweets.
He had felt a little silly saying that. She stuck her tongue out. Well, duh. Come on, I'll take you to Sugar Cube Corner.
This is when he gets to meet Pinky.
Dope. The filly had taken a few steps away before looking back with that smile he liked so much. He had hastened to follow her. That same smile was a mirror image of the one she wore on the branch beside him. Ever friendly, ever reassuring, it drove away his anxiety every time he saw it.
You're the best friend ever,
He blurted out. She frowned, and he was suddenly worried he shouldn't have said that. But his fears were assuaged by her next words. How can I be the best friend ever? That's you! Please don't call me the best friend ever. Ever again. Gross.
Maybe she wants to be more than friends.
Oh, young love. Pipsqueak rubbed his chin thoughtfully, and Dinky did the same. Then, at the same time, they gasped with sudden realization.
We can both be best friends.
The little ponies cried in unison. They grinned and pirate hugged. It was a normal hug, but they both said "arr" during it. Arr. That one was Dinky's idea, and Pipsqueak had approved greatly. They parted, and something caught his attention. He gestured to the forest on the other side of Dinky.
What's that?
She turned and squinted through the canopy of colors. Hey, that's not the American form of colors.
Yeah, they said that earlier too, about the sea of
Damn.
colors. Clearly this was written from the perspective of Pipsqueak and not Dinky.
Yep. I mean, they're both... Dinky's Canadian, technically, so... Probably.
Oh.
Never hear her talk, I don't think, so... Who's to say? Maybe she's Russian.
Yo! This spells colors in Cyrillic for no reason.
A little blue speckle reflected sunlight from beneath the trees. I think it's a little lake, she squealed excitedly.
A lake?
Pipsqueak had never heard of a lake in the Whitetail Woods before, and they played there all the time. Yeah, come on. We have to check it out. The feeling was mutual, and the colt slipped onto a lower branch and carefully yet excitedly descended from their tree. The ponies, keeping the ship afloat, had moved on to the next adventure, so the ship sunk beneath the waves of thought once more, and the tree remained. Pipsqueak dropped to the stick-littered ground and waited for Dinky to arrive beside him. A sharp snap was followed by a short scream, and suddenly... Uh-oh. Looks like I was right to be worried. A sharp snap was followed by a short scream, and suddenly a weight crashed into his back and drove him to the ground. The sticks and twigs scratched against his belly, and he yelped in surprise. Dinky had fallen, but only from the lowest layer of branches. Pipsqueak had served as an incredibly soft landing platform, not that he had any choice in the matter. The filly climbed off him and helped him up worriedly. Are you okay? I'm so sorry. I was thinking about the lake and I slipped.
One of these days you're gonna get someone killed.
I'll never forgive you for this. I'm going home. And they just never speak to each other again, and it's a tragedy, man.
Young love.
Pipsqueak winced at the ache in his back. It would certainly bruise later.
I'm okay. Are you? You fell.
Dinky nodded reassuringly. I'm fine. You sort of cushioned my fall. She looked slightly sheepish. Sorry again. It's okay. Those dudes have the whole, they're resilient.
They made of rubber or something.
They crash a lot.
Derpy flew too close to the sun with her rubber wings.
No, that was Rarity that did that.
Is that actually like a Rarity thing? They have like an Icarus allegory?
Yep. Season 1, baby. Episode 16. It's called
What?
Sonic Rainboom.
Wait. Is it the one?
Yep.
Dang!
Sorry again. The colt waved away her apology as he brushed dirt off his coat.
That's what best friends are for,
he said. Dinky laughed, but still looked like she was feeling guilty, so Pipsqueak suggested.
Let's just go explore that lake, yeah? I feel fine.
Having been reassured herself, the filly led Pipsqueak into the forest in the direction of the lake. From what he had seen, it was more of an oversized pond, but he couldn't think of a better word to call it. Only the faint reflection of sunlight off the still surface had alerted him, tucked away as it was beneath the trees. They came upon it quickly, as it was not far from their giant oak. The little ponies crashed through a spiky thicket of bushes and stumbled to the edge of a clear little pool. It was the size of a house and just as deep. Cool, Dinky squeaked before she dipped her hoof in the water. Hey, it's kind of nice. Want to swim? Pipsqueak answered her by unbuckling his sword belt and leaping over her head and landing in the water, splashing the filly and soaking her to the bone. He surfaced and looked back innocently.
Oops.
I'll give you oops. Get the fuck over here.
No!
I'll end your life.
A sharp snap followed by a short scream.
Very short. Dinky shouted in mock anger, driving at him. He yelped and backed away, swimming as fast as he could to the center of the mini lake. Dinky growled like a monster as she pursued him. He splashed back at her and couldn't help breaking into laughter when she caught him, grabbing him around the waist and tickling him underwater. The filly giggled uncontrollably when he returned the attack, digging his hooves into her ribs. "Oh, you're gonna pay for that," she declared when he stopped. Her eyes itched from the water as she rubbed at them vigorously. But when they cleared, Pipsqueak was nowhere in sight. He had submerged himself and was slowly circling around behind Dinky for a surprise attack. Just before he launched his assault, a glint in the corner of his eye distracted him. Buried underneath some dirt and underwater weeds, something golden flashed. His eyes widened, and he quickly surfaced, sucking in air. Dinky spun around, bracing for the attack, but was instead met with the colt's excited expression.
I saw something shiny down there,
he gasped. Her eyebrows rose instantly. Really? Is it treasure? In moments, she was as energized as him.
I don't know, let's go look.
Pipsqueak regained his breath, and together they dove beneath the water once more. Their vision was blurred, but there was no mistaking the glint this time. They swam down furiously and tore out the weeds. They came apart quickly and revealed a little brown pouch with a hole torn in it, revealing a tiny speck of yellow inside. The two little ponies exchanged a look of pure amazement, and Dinky quickly scooped up the pouch. They returned to the surface as quick as they could manage, bursting through into fresh air again. What followed was a torrential flow of high-pitched gibberish as one of their fantasies came true. The pair rushed to the side of the lake and climbed out. Not even the suddenly freezing wind dampened their spirits. Dinky dropped the pouch on the ground, and two yellow discs clinked out onto the dirt. For a brief moment, the ponies stood in absolute shock and disbelief. Then, simultaneously, they leapt into the air and hugged each other. Treasure! When they parted, they immediately dropped to the ground and began inspecting their loot.
They are gold doubloons!
Pipsqueak squeaked. No, they're galleons, Dinky countered. The colt slapped a hoof to his face.
A galleon is a ship, Dinky.
Yeah? She held the coin up to his face. And what does that look like? On the side facing Pipsqueak, there was a mighty ship carved with all the sails unfurled, caught in a great wind.
Wow, that's so cool!
But that's not a galleon still, actually.
That's just a regular sailboat.
That would actually be the 1586 Mark 12. Mark 12. Yeah, 1586. Great one. Me, I'm awesome. He shouted, taking the coin into his own hoof. I know, right? The other side is just a star. Dinky picked up the other coin. Pipsqueak glanced at the other side momentarily, but it was the ship that held his attention. He could almost see the sails rippling in the wind, the waves crashing against the bow as it charged through the water. His best friend held the pouch open for him. The sun's going to go down soon, Pip. Let's take them back to Ponyville so they don't get lost. Reluctantly, the colt relinquished his coin into the brown container that Dinky carefully gripped in her teeth. Pipsqueak put his sword belt back on, the metal buckle very cold against him. They began to walk back in the direction of their homes, shivering slightly as the wind rolled over their wet fur. As they trudged between trees and around shrubs, they pondered the origin of the coins.
Maybe a pirate king hid his hoard there, but most of it got stolen?
Pipsqueak offered. What would a pirate king be doing so far from the ocean? Dinky shook her head. I think some pony used the lake as a wishing well. The colt sighed dejectedly.
I'm pretty sure this is actually dead man's coins from Greek mythology. You know, you put two of them on someone's eyes, and they go into the afterlife.
Oh.
So basically, they stole these off a corpse.
Oh.
But that's boring.
You're boring. Fuck you.
Child ponies can't swear.
Yeah, they can. Fuck you.
Only Scootaloo.
Only the super edgy 1985 Scootaloo can swear. Yeah, and I got cancelled. The filly raised her head high, trying to look like a Canterlot pony. Well, sir, I'm just being rational.
Huh?
It means I'm making sense and you're not. Nah. She stuck her tongue out and giggled, ruining the high-class image. This was where their friendship took a dip for the worse.
Wait, what?
I just like...
I thought it
falling
actually
out.
said that at first.
No, it doesn't say that. I guess I'm awesome. Go me. Pipsqueak rolled his eyes and chuckled, head still swirling with images of pirate kings and chests full of gold. Their discussion continued even as the sky faded into a warm orange, and they arrived at Ponyville as the sun kissed the horizon. There were still many ponies out and about, some just enjoying the view, others running last-minute errands. Dinky started to look agitated.
What's wrong?
Asked Pipsqueak as they came to a stop in the middle of the town. She bit her lip worriedly. My mum doesn't like it when I stay out past sunset.
You can just say you were at my house.
He suggested. I suppose, but I really should go home. I don't like making her worry. Pipsqueak thought that was rather sweet of his best friend.
All right, then. What shall we do with the coins?
She hesitated for a moment and then placed the pouch on the ground, nudging it towards him with one hoof. You take them. You've loved pirates your whole life. I only started when you got here.
What?
Oh,
But she said she liked pirates.
did not expect a twist.
She totally has a crush.
Ooh. Though he was touched, he didn't think that was the best solution.
But without you, we wouldn't have found them.
Well, what do you want to do then? He thought for a moment, and then his eyes lit up with brilliance.
I've got it!
He kicked open the pouch and slid one coin over to Dinky.
We each get a coin. They can be...
Wait, why wasn't that an option before? Why is that a surprise?
They're kids. They're stupid. Plus, she wanted him to have them because she wanted to be sweet.
Alrighty then. He racked his brain.
Super special pirate best friend coins!
Dinky beamed and quickly rushed forward to pirate hug him. He returned it with enthusiasm, and they started laughing, drawing a few amused...
That's the sound of him doing the pirate hug.
That's cute. I like that you remembered that. That was nice. Drawing a few amused looks from passerby. When they parted, their ribs ached from mirth. I'll see you tomorrow, super special pirate best friend. Dinky shouted as she trotted away, waving the gold coin.
You bet!
Pipsqueak raised his doubloon in a salute. The grin hurt his cheeks, but it never left his face, even when Dinky had long vanished from sight. For a day, they had been real pirates. They found real treasure. It was as if everything he wished for had come true, and it was all thanks to Dinky. He looked at the coin fondly once more, rolling it between his hooves. Gets like a sinister look in his eyes. This starts his reign as pirate lord.
He had a taste of gold and he wanted more.
Cut to 20 years later, Ponyville burning to the ground.
He has like an actual eye patch because something happened.
Oh man, he was introduced in the Halloween episode, and so he had he was dressed up as a pirate. That's where they got this from.
Yeah.
And so he wore an eye patch, and let me tell you, freaking weird the first time we saw him without that thing. I think
Wait,
it was
you
like
thought he
years
actually-
later.
I thought he was actually like he was actually missing an eye.
No,
I
it just
think
looked
that.
weird. He looked at the coin fondly once more, rolling it between his hooves. The mighty vessel seemed to rock with the motion, like it was a tiny golden ocean.
Rhymes.
Oh yeah, sick rhymes. Pipsqueak squinted and looked closer. Two little carvings he had missed before now stood out in the sunlight. There on the bow of the ship there were two little ponies. Whew!
I used to wonder what friendship could be.
Well, it's not whatever we're having right now. And that was Pirates for a Day by Dawnfade. Wow. Let me tell you, I do think that one was the fanfic that I read as a kid.
Nice.
What
an appropriate one to go back to.
Yeah, wow. That was just really sweet. I liked it.
Yeah.
Very, very cute. You know, brings you back to old days of childhood and stuff like that. It definitely reminds me of, what's it called? The Simpler Times?
Yeah, Simpler Times.
By what's his name? We read it on the podcast. Red Lobster and Bookfort. Bring us to that. And, you know, in some ways I like that one more. In some ways I like this one more. I think they both have some great merits to them. But this one was very sweet and cute, and I loved it, and I wanted to hug it, and want to pat these two kiddos on the head and give them a glass of milk and send them off to bed and stuff like that, you know? Yeah. It's nice.
I thought it was definitely a lot like the Simpler Times one. It's definitely in my top 5 favorite cute fics. I'd probably put it above the Bat one with Rainbow Dash.
Ooh. There are 2 Bat ones with Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, the sequel one.
Yeah. I would put it above that one in terms of cuteness, at least.
Yeah. I also think it was a really good fic just for the fact that Dinky is related to Derpy in the fic.
And it's not uncommon. In fact, dare I say, if you have Dinky in a fic, she's probably going to be related to Derpy.
Yeah. Okay, but I still like it.
Well, of course.
I just like them.
I think that this story was just a nice throwback to older times, you know?
Yeah.
Just let all my cares roll away. It's nice.
The description of the fall leaves on the ground while they're up in the tree definitely reminded me of back when I was a kid.
Definitely. I really liked a lot of the descriptions and stuff like that. It just seemed whimsical, you know? Without being too whimsical.
Yeah.
Or too magical. Too fantastical, I should say.
Not enough pillaging for my pirate tastes, though.
I agree. More pillaging, more raping.
No!
More... I guess just more murder. And then we'll talk. You know? Get back to us with that second draft there, buddy.
Where did the scurvy even come in?
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I have to say, I guess.
Yeah, this fic definitely earned a thumbs up from me.
Totally. And from me. And you know who else should have read it? You guys. You should have gone to read it. Rick forgot about that one again. Ain't that some shucks?
It's in the description. They have every opportunity.
Yeah, but you know. Go check this out, guys. Give it a thumbs up. And in fact, give it a comment. I guess they don't really care about the story anymore, the author, given their
departure from film fiction.
Yeah, that's the one.
Still give them a like.
Yeah, totally. I loved it. Yep. That's all I have to say. Good night, everybody.
See ya.
Ooh, hold on. Sorry, I just got a text from Jack Getchman. He's more important than you.
But I'm his brother. Twist.
Wow. I wonder what Jack Getchman is going to say about that.